My name is 𝗚𝗂𝗶𝗃𝗲𝗏. My wife Sonia was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in January 2020 at the age of 65. I had seen so many family caregivers suffer physically, emotionally, and psychologically, sometimes to the point where their own health deteriorated faster than the loved one they were caring for. I was determined not to let this disease take me down as well, and it didn't. I won the battle, and you can too. Watch this short video to the end for more details. Today, let's talk about something many caregivers experience: guilt. It can be a heavy word, and it's often accompanied by other emotions like shame, frustration, or a sense of inadequacy. Guilt seems to find its way into caregiving in ways that can catch you off guard, leaving you feeling like you're not doing enough or somehow falling short. But I want to remind you, guilt is not a measure of your care or love. In fact, it often arises because of how much you care. Caregivers frequently feel guilty for things that are beyond their control. Maybe you felt guilty for feeling frustrated, or guilty for wanting a break, or even guilty for not being able to provide every single thing your loved one needs. It's an exhausting cycle, but it's important to realize that these feelings are common and you're not alone in experiencing them. Guilt doesn't make you a bad caregiver. It simply means you're human with real emotions and limits. Let's start by understanding there's no perfect caregiver. You might set high standards for yourself, wanting to be everything your loved one needs. But perfection isn't the goal, and honestly, it's impossible. When we aim for perfection, we set ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and yes, guilt. Remember, you're already doing something extraordinary by caring for a loved one with dementia. A good caregiver isn't one who does everything perfectly, but one who shows up day after day with patience and love. There are still moments when I find myself feeling frustrated or even angry about some of the things Sonia does. But I've learned to be mindful of my emotions, to recognize them before they take control. That doesn't mean I suppress my feelings, bottling them up only for them to resurface later in a passive-aggressive way. Instead, I pause and reframe my thoughts, and in doing so, I change my emotions and my response. I remind myself that my thoughts are not absolute truths. They're just thoughts, and they can be changed. If I allowed my frustration to dictate my actions, three things would happen. Sonia would react poorly, the quality of our life together would suffer, and my own health would take a hit as stress and anger took their toll. So, what do I do to change my thoughts to? What do I change my thoughts to? I remind myself that Sonia isn't doing anything on purpose. She didn't choose Alzheimer's. It could have just as easily been me in her place. Her life is already shortened, and I have the gift and responsibility to make her remaining days as joyful as possible. That perspective shifts everything. As I've said before, I don't want to look back with regret, and by choosing to reframe my thoughts in the moment, I'm making sure I won't. So, how do you cope with guilt? One helpful approach is to reframe your thoughts. When you catch yourself feeling guilty, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this guilt rooted in something real, or is it a result of unrealistic expectations I've placed on myself? If it's the latter, gently remind yourself that your expectations might need adjusting. You're allowed to be human, to make mistakes, and to take breaks. In fact, taking care of yourself helps you be a better caregiver. Another useful tool is to practice self-compassion. When we feel guilty, we're often our own harshest critics. We say things to ourselves that we would never dream of saying to someone else. Imagine for a moment that a close friend or fellow caregiver was expressing these feelings of guilt to you. What would you say to them? Most likely, you'd offer words of kindness and reassurance, reminding them of all they're doing and the love they're giving. Try to extend that same compassion to yourself. Give yourself permission to be imperfect, to feel tired, and to need help. You deserve kindness from yourself as much as anyone else does. There's a powerful phrase in caregiving that I'd like you to remember. Here's the phrase: you can't pour from an empty cup. Guilt often arises when we try to give more than we have, sacrificing our own needs and well-being in the process. But caregiving isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. To be there for your loved one over the long term, you need to take care of yourself too. And that means letting go of guilt when you take time for a walk, a nap, or even a night off. Sometimes it can help to talk about these feelings. Whether it's with a friend, family member, or support group, sharing your experiences can be incredibly freeing. Often, when we voice our guilt, we realize that we're not alone in feeling this way, and that others understand what we're going through. You might even find that by expressing your feelings, you give someone else permission to acknowledge their own. Guilt can feel isolating, but talking about it reminds us that we're part of a community of caregivers who truly get it. Another approach to managing guilt is to focus on the positive impact you're making. Think about the things you're doing every day to support your loved one, from preparing meals to sitting with them and sharing a comforting presence. Those moments matter. Your loved one might not be able always to express it, but your care is making a difference in their life. When guilt arises, try to counter it with reminders of the love and support you're providing. In closing, I want to emphasize that guilt is a common part of caregiving, but it doesn't have to control you. By practicing self-compassion, adjusting expectations, and finding moments to care for yourself, you can ease the burden of guilt. Remember, you're doing an incredible job, a job that not everyone could do. Be gentle with yourself and know that your best is enough. Thank you for being here and for sharing this time together. You're not alone in this journey, and each step you take is filled with love, even on the days it feels hard. As promised at the beginning, Sonia's journey became the inspiration for a course I created called caregivermasterycourse.com. It's a roadmap to help family caregivers find their heaven island. That's what I call it. That's the place where you can finally let go of the stress, the guilt, the anger, and the resentment that caregiving often stirs up. It's a place of peace, acceptance, and clarity. A state of mind where you can be the caregiver your loved one needs while protecting your own health and well-being. You don't have to lose yourself in the process. Instead of more scars, you gain the wisdom to navigate caregiving with strength and confidence. Click on the link or just go to caregivermasterycourse.com. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need it. Comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips. New videos are posted here every Monday and Thursday. You're not alone. Let's do this together.